Alrighty, so today's build, we are going to be looking at the Yamato. Now, this is the character that I've probably played the second most in general. It's a really solid build. Now, there's quite a few builds that you can look at that are very similar. Yamato so far, by a lot of the pros, has been looked at as you either go an attack damage carry, which is very popular, very solid. Basically doing lots of left click damage. She also has a good right click for poking. And also the right click is getting more used. So in those instances when you are in close combat, use an ability like 3 to slash and a quick right click. You can get lots of AoE damage done. And just, it's great. It's great. The other kind of way to play is going for like a spellcastery build, which is also extremely solid. Now I know this guy streams a lot and plays this build. I don't know what the others are. A bit of a mix bag overall. You can have both going, which makes her quite a fun hero. Now, one thing that really stood out to me with Yamato was the fact that when I saw her, I very much looked at her as like, alright, so her 1 is a sword that you can quickly charge up, do a lot of damage. Her 3 is a quick slash, which doesn't do the most, but the effects on that are, it does the damage, but then it applies a fire rate slow and heals you on heroes hit. So if you are in a situation later on in the game when you've got 2,000 health, let's say, being able to plus 10% of max health heal on hero hit, you can literally be in a situation where you're about to die and then boom, you've just got like 700 health extra in the middle of everything. Then you can ult, do whatever. So even though she's got like a lot of melee focus spells that, you know, you can get going to deal a lot of spirit damage, what people have found is that her left click is actually amazing. So this is without any items whatsoever. And you can really feel that it's very smooth without any items. Now, making her like a weapon carry instead of a spirit carry feels a tiny bit weird, but given that her left click is just so damn good and her poke with a right click, it just kind of comes online. So some of the first things for laning, high velocity mag. If you are struggling at denying, and luckily in the practice zone, you have just this. You have a spot where you can go, boom, and find out how fast you can kill these souls, and practice like this helps a lot. Now, I have no idea what the average is for the pros and stuff, but after a bit of practice, you'll get a lot better. And honestly, getting high velocity mag just helps with this. Helps with those deniers, or denying early on, and can just make the whole situation a lot easier for yourself in general. So, if you're against those quick hit scan heroes, high velocity mag will help a lot. And in general, these items here, 12% weapon damage, plus the 6% it gives you naturally, it's a good damage item to have. Other things that can be very good with her, the closer you are, the better. Given that your projectiles, you've got a good 5 or so. Let's have a look. So the further away, the less impact it will have. So the closer you are, the better. So might as well amplify that, giving you bullet shield health. Again, that's not bad. But 31% weapon damage up close. So this is just with 2 weapon items, but we were doing a lot of damage before. We're doing a lot of damage here. Now, they also added a patch recently, which I believe makes it so your weapon items do proc with the right click now. They didn't always do that. So when we're closer with that, we are doing more damage with the right click now. That was a really big change for her. So the right click will feel far better. Ammo Scavenger, I'm not 100% sure about this one, but as a laning item that just gives you a little bit more spirit power, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but it's nice. But what it does is give you ammo per soul and a stacking spirit buff. So for a 500 item that gives you health and more ammo, so now your complete mag is going to be, instead of 12, you get plus 3. And given that you can deny and potentially win more in the lane early on, it's great. Also, the Yamato build in general is not one where you need a lot of purple items. So having one early on that gives you all of that, it's great. Yamato wants to be flying around pretty hardcore. Now, this is a green item, so it gives you that base health, which is very nice. Gives you an extra stamina, better stamina recovery by a little bit. Also gives you a bit of fire rate. So again, this is kind of like an all-rounder item for her. Just better movement, great, given that she's a very agile class. She wants to be in the fight. Now, I don't mean a front liner like an Abrams or something. She definitely wants to be a bit more sneaky about it, getting in the back and what have you. Because until later on, she is not a tank. She is not a tank. She's good at 1v1s and getting on the back line, but she is not a tank yet. So early on, having this kind of setup for your laning, very good, and you're already able to deal quite a bit of damage. So one of the ways that you, in my eyes, want to approach the lane, using your right click as a good way to just kind of poke from afar. It's almost like a nuke in itself. And using your left click with high velocity mag to really secure a lot of souls. Very handy. Next phase of the game, kinetic dash. This will help you move around a lot quicker. Now, this is one tech that took me a while to figure out how to do it properly, but doing a dash into a jump will actually just make you move faster. Now, this is great for a lot of reasons. You can see that we're already rocking quite a bit of dashes available, making her very nice. So getting that extra stamina, the kinetic dash, which means that your next dash jump does not cost an extra stamina, and you get fire rate bonus and extra ammo. So if you land it properly, dash and jump, now you'll be shooting very fast. So in these early game situations, can be very solid. If you're wondering how to do this, when you dash normally, you'll see your little crosshair and the whole thing around it, all the stamina charges, they'll go blue for a second. You'll get so good at it that it becomes very natural for you to do that. Very natural. Monster rounds. Now, this item, you could be like, why didn't you get that earlier? You technically can if you want. This will just help you kill jungle creeps and stuff faster. Pretty significantly, because 35% weapon damage against NPCs and what have you, and less bullet resist, is actually pretty huge. So getting these towers down, the walkers, the guardians early on, getting the jungle farm going, because this is a mean build. It comes online pretty quickly. Now, these things here, bullet, lifesteal, enduring speed, bullet resist, shredder. Like, this is fairly low in the game right now. I don't want to guess how many souls it is so far, but these are not the big boy items just yet. And you're already going to be doing a lot of damage. If you can get on top of somebody and just really nuke them down, you can do a lot of damage very quickly. And very mobile. These items over here in this are primarily for if you're feeling like you're getting into a lot of fights early on. Like, a lot of fights. This is a bit, if necessary, because this, having a longer ultimate, very handy, but I think it's more of a later game thing. Improved cooldown for that ultimate. You know, it's got a fairly short cooldown, but being able to make that 66 seconds instead of 78 can help. Instead of, what is it here, 7.54 duration or 6.5. I think the big one out of these three is Suppressor, just for that 25% fire rate slow. It's also a bit of health regen and what have you, which is very handy. But the big ones you want to get online very, very quickly. So Point Blank will be your first item of really being able to slow people down and just hunting them. So that's a solid 3k. So here, you're talking about these... Well, I'll do it on this guy here. So this guy that's running around, you know, you slow him down pretty significantly. If you've got good tracing or tracking, you'll be able to really punish somebody very, very hard. The big ones, Siphon Bullets and Glass Cannon. Just, they turn her into an absolute monster. So I don't have the flex slots here with this, so let's just open them up, because hopefully at this point you've got some flex slots available. If you're struggling, you can always get some of these if the game's not going that well. But you really want to try and get Glass Cannon and Siphon Bullets online. Siphon Bullets will really make you so damn powerful, and Glass Cannon obviously just makes you deal way more damage. This also allows you to have the Suppressor, so when you deal the spirit damage from the Siphon Life, boom, you're also slowing down their fire rate pretty massively. Leech, great for staying alive as well. I am not entirely sure how I want Vampiric Burst to be with this, but I am thinking that this movement speed could be absolutely wild for her. And you can see here that she's running fast, and as she's shooting as well, you can get yourself into a beautiful position where you can literally just murder people. Absolutely murder. But it's not entirely necessary. The big ones here, this being able to boost your movement speed regardless, like when you hit somebody, for 50% uptime basically. It's got an 8.5 second cooldown, 4-second duration. These two things as well, I believe they would technically help. You can technically also get rid of Ammo Scavenger at this point. So that item there, 4.6 duration to 7.1. Nice. Now the last thing that you might want to get here, instead of, let's say, extra regen, Bullet, or Burst Fire and Berserker. Berserker, you're taking damage continuously. Yada yada yada. You're a beast. You're a beast. Refresher, Soul Rebirth, these things are just really, really good for you. Now, you don't have to get these ones first, but if the game's going very well, I recommend Siphon Bullets and Glass Cannon and Leech. Then you can be more annoying. Refresher, Soul Rebirth, really, really sick items. Maybe Refresher's better as the first one, just to make sure that you can do your ulti again. But at this point, if you did have this kind of level of gear, you're doing so much damage. Actually, so much damage. So the way that you want to play this Yamato build, and I'm not even sure if I'm fully leveled up. Max level. So these are the kind of stats you will have later on. Obviously, you can trade out your extra stamina for the refresh, or rather for the soul rebirth. You can also get the armors online and what have you. But even going into the mid-game, you're going to be a force to be reckoned with. A real force to be reckoned with. And when you really, really, truly get online, well, you're going to be an absolute giga beast. Hopping on their back line, absolutely killing them before they know what's even happened. You have the ulti as well, to get yourself back online rolling. Doing whatever you want. And then, if needs be, refresher into doing it all over again. And right now, this is very much regarded as one of the most difficult heroes to go up against, especially when they do it well. Aha! In the top it tells you. Okay, hold on. I just need to check this. Hold on. I want to see what the soul count was for when I had all the very, very basic stuff going. So, let's see what we had here. Oh, it's saying 42k still because I deleted everything. Never mind, never mind. But reasonably cheap. Lots of these basic items get you online. This for jungling and just mobility and getting around. And Bullet Lifesteal, Enduring Speed, Bullet Resist Shredder. Those are big just for keeping yourself on the map. Because one of the last things you want to be doing in a MOBA is going back home all the time. It's actually one of the biggest things that I see new players doing way too much, is going back home to heal, then coming out. Because every time you do that, you're not creeping, you're not farming. And that's something that you have to keep in mind when you're playing. So guys and girls, hope you enjoy this Yamato build. I will be publishing this. I believe it's already published. Demu Yamato. Feel free to let me know in the comments how you like it and how you get along. Cheers. Alrighty. Now it's going to be time to actually play, hopefully, some Yamato.